Just
And you're live.
let me know we're live. All right, we're live, pal. All right, leader of the pack, again, on location, Basement Bar. Basement Bar show host Steve Mazzano here, being a gracious host, made me the cocktail of the day. The, what did we call this?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
It's got apple in it for the doctor.
Yeah,
and,
a little vodka,
carrot.
little carrot, apple juice. It's
By the way, I don't think you need glasses in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a real good drink, and it's super orange. In case you can pick that up. In case anybody's jumping from their location and their stream earlier, about an hour ago, to ours, you saw how it was made. We'll put that in the comments too, and make sure you go back and watch Steve's episode from this afternoon. We've got producer Big Chang on the other side, bubbling around with his phone.
You know,
just trying to be Mr. Technology.
It's the
over
10th
on that
iteration
side.
of the phone, and he still doesn't know how to work it. Like, more than like a fourth way to work it.
Just jumbly hands. Just
Trying to start your watch party so you can get some more
Let's
views
go.
in here.
There you go. Just doing my best. Yeah.
Right now you got Kevin.
But yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you know, we're bringing people.
Oh, Kevin.
We're bringing people into the stream. We're bringing everybody in, and this is an exciting. I say it's an exciting day because it's Old Timers Day here for the leader of the
I
pack.
wore my best white T-shirt for this. I'm like Fonzie with the white T-shirts, by the way. I wear
You
them
look like
every
the
other-
average age of the players that are in the league. Just like a little bit of juice left in you, just ready to get back out there. Retirement can never come sooner for the 1990 Senior League Baseball. So the Senior League Baseball was I think it ended up being 2 seasons. They played down in Florida, mostly like West Palm Beach. I think Kissimmee might have had a team. I think Port St. Lucie had a team. So it was for anybody that lived in the Florida area that was like, all right, spring training needs to extend, and they didn't have that extended spring training program at that time in Major League Baseball. So they were like, well, let's get all the old bag of bones players from the last few years that still want to, get out there and prove their salt. Let's bring them out. Let's put a league together. I think this was also right around the time that there was the senior PGA was pretty hot too. So there's a lot of people that were interested in old people playing sports.
True fact.
Yes, sir.
Every game had to end by 4:30 so they can get to the early bird special.
All the parking was handicap parking.
By the way, you can do a whole. I can do at least a 7-minute bit on this.
Just on 1990 Senior League Baseball.
Yeah.
I do have a couple notes. Producer Matt not here. Normally, Producer Matt would regale us with the notes, but I'll take care of doing the notes. Again, the commissioner of Senior League Baseball was Curt Flood, the godfather of free agency.
Yes.
Again, another guy who passed away like at the end of the 90s, but was still sort of like hanging around. I think the early 80s, he was still hanging around baseball.
The Great Flood.
Got a
Hey, Dan, you want to play up?
got a bad reputation with Bowie Kuhn in the 80s. I think there were some lawsuits.
That is a blast from the past.
Some of the players and personalities that were part of the senior league. You had Doc Ellis, the man who threw the no-hitter on acid.
Doc Ellis.
He did play for one of the teams. Spaceman Bill Lee, who pitched for the Red
great
Sox.
1975, I think it was.
Red Sox and the Expos, I believe, as a Red Sox, and then he stuck around in the league a few times, a few years, I should say.
Mark Fidrich, they throw his ass out
I
there?
think he wasn't part of that. I was looking for him.
No, like
the bird.
Yeah.
You also had Dave Kingman, who had just retired and left the A's in like '89 or the early part of 1990, and
way ahead of his time. Because if he was a player now, he'd be making $20 million a year to hit 40 home runs and about 210.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if he strikes out because
They embrace it.
4 bags every 3 at bats.
Yeah.
He did play for the West Palm Tropics, much like the Flint Tropics in semi-pro. I would hope that their catchphrase was "Let's get tropical." Earl Weaver, on the Earl Weaver card, if we can get the Earl Weaver card, there's a nice little Easter egg. Right by his hand, like over his baseball, baseball pants, you can see his pack of cigarettes sticking out.
Was he ever happy, Earl Weaver? I feel like he went to bed yelling at
when that
somebody.
second cigarette was coming and he was done with the first heater, he was ready.
He's never a happy guy.
And then another Easter egg on this one: Jimmy Nettles was a player in the league, brother of Craig Nettles.
Wow.
And as an homage to the Ripken brothers, and Billy Ripken more specifically, who in 1989 in the Fleer card he had F face on the bat handle infamously. Jimmy Nettles wrote the word asshole on the bottom of his bat, and it's in the picture. And they didn't make like a repurposing or like a second card for it. It's just on there. So if that comes out, that might be the only thing that's worth anything in this set. This is a set of cards that's got no real value to it. So, without further ado,
Just gonna say you built that up.
12 cards are in a pack. The company that makes this was Pacific Trading Cards. Don't know if they did anything else. They might have done like Mutant Ninja Turtle cards or
Which means that they all made a ton of money. Then.
Yeah.
The Garbage Pail Kids or something.
By the way, sponsor on this one was Banker Bill in Hillsborough. Sold us these pack of cards. Great guy up in the Hillsborough area. In the comments section later, I'll drop his address and his information. He doesn't have a website, but he works out of a small card shop down there. Does good business. He's at the I believe there's a card show in South Plainfield this weekend, and he'll be out there. So just yell Banker Bill.
I have a quick comment.
Yes,
please. I love the getup. You have the Globetrotter sweatshirt.
Yeah. Oh, it's
and it looks like he came from the. It looks like he came from the docks collecting decks somewhere. This is a longshoreman.
The Globetrotter shirt is for the NBA draft later. I'm hoping that the Globetrotters do it this year and they get the number 7 pick, so they can get the Ghost of Curly Neal. All right, enough of that nonsense.
All right, let's do it.
So we got the sticker actually. The aforementioned West Palm Tropics sticker is the.
That's I have to
right
tell you,
that's a nice looking sticker, right?
That's a really shiny looking good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the card stock's any good because it's sort of.
Can we get a jersey? I wonder if you get a jersey. These guys.
They were not aired on television nationally. They were supposed to be had a possible contract for ESPN, and that never fell through. They would show clips of games, but they wouldn't show a full game. Because, again, an old man probably wouldn't want to sit through.
Somebody lead the league at hamstring pulls.
I wrote these notes for a reason.
Who we got?
First guy right off the top.
Doc Ellis.
We got him.
Mr. Acid.
Dan, if you want to help out.
So I'm thinking
show,
if he played
the folks at home.
So he played for the Pirates at one point.
He was a Pirate when he dropped acid and threw the no-hitter. And
to live in Pittsburgh, I think you have to do that.
Maybe it was a Texas Ranger too. Maybe Ferguson Jenkins was his teammate.
Wasn't he he was another drug guy who got chased over the border?
He was he was a cocaine guy. Fergie Jenkins. Actually, Fergie Jenkins.
Guy's in the Hall of Fame. He's a drug runner.
I believe he played in this league too. A lot of popular names here. This is a good one. Legendary
Cecil Cooper,
Milwaukee Brewers first baseman Cecil Cooper. Looks a little bit pudgy there, as any man in probably his mid-40s would look. Still has the glasses. And is still, again, thought of as one of the great first basemen of the 70s and 80s.
He was always a good hitter.
330.
Right, I was going to say, good average. Not a ton of home runs, but good enough.
Yeah.
Mark Grace-ish, maybe.
9-time 300 hitter.
Yeah.
Over 17 seasons.
Yeah.
Probably never had more than 25 home runs a year.
Twice led the AL in RBIs.
There you go.
Oh, that's a sleeper stat.
3 times drove in more than 120 in a year.
Well, he had a strong lineup behind him.
Yeah.
It was
Ben
Ogilvy,
Molitor,
Gorman Thomas, Ted Simmons.
Yeah.
I wonder if it says if Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter on acid on this.
It has to. If it doesn't say that on the back, then they're not doing Doc Ellis.
Yeah, we might as well just burn the card. It doesn't say it.
Outfielder for the Pelicans. I don't know where the Pelicans. Oh, maybe the St. Pete Pelicans. We'll find that out.
Looking at?
This is Steve Henderson.
Yeah, it's St. Pete.
Former Met.
Is he the Henderson that was in the playoff game that hit the home run against the Angels, or he was in the outfield against the Angels? There was an Angel in the outfield.
That was Dave Henderson.
Dave Henderson,
much better, and they're brothers. He was a much better brother out of the Hendersons, and Dave Henderson had the little bit longer career. He played until the early part of the 90s.
I wonder what these guys do now. This guy's sitting there at some bar I'm Dave Henderson.
Buy me a drink.
Can I take that can and use the 5 cents?
I'll take a what's up, Doc, please. I'll take a what's up, Doc, please.
See, this is a spitballing.
This is it.
Comedy.
This is it. I think this guy He had played into
Butch
the
Hobson was good.
late part of the 80s into the early 90s. Butch Hobson.
Big on the Yankee Red Sox rivalry.
Was.
Third baseman.
Was. Texas Ranger, too.
Later in his career, I think.
But did he not go into coaching or managing? Or maybe he did it in the minors?
I think
he was kind of waffling around in that area.
Yeah. I think you may be right.
Better leader than he was a player, but
Yeah,
even still, like I think he was. I think I think he had some. He had some decent seasons, and he was at least a guy who was a starter or better.
He's the guy I feel like when they called to say they were interested in starting this league, they didn't even get the first sentence out. He's like, "I'm in."
I'm in. Yeah.
And he was like, "But you didn't tell you I'm in. Don't take this away from me. I need this." You know, like one of those.
It's still on my back.
He was like actually in his uniform when they called.
How's this for a team logo? I got ideas. I know the name. I don't really remember what
Rafael Landis-Stoy.
Rafael Landis-Stoy. Yeah, Twins. You're right. Good call. But Landis-Stoy, again, probably was a good glove. I don't think he was a world beater or anything. I think, as you coined on one of the other shows, a quintessential defensive replacement, late inning defensive replacement.
Get Landis-Stoy in here.
Yeah, nothing really comes to the surface about his career.
His claim to fame is he played every infield and outfield position.
Oh, all right.
You can't do that.
Jose Oquendo played.
That's all he has.
Jose Oquendo played every position, pitcher and catcher too. So
welcome to every softball men's league.
I hate managers cards, and we got a managers cards here. We got Pat Dobson.
What a waste.
Did he close at any point? I felt like he closed.
Pat Dobson? Was he a pitcher?
I thought he closed at one point. No,
could have.
The Fort Myers Sun Sox.
Well, I think he might have been like in that era where they didn't really care about closers, if that was even the case. Like, I don't think that closers didn't get hot until early part of the '80s when they were giving out Roll-Aid Relief Mail.
Right, yes. Roll-Aid Relief Mail.
Which Raleigh Fingers has a bunch of those trophies, and Eckersley.
Great mustache.
This is a good mustache, and he's been on our show, pointed out as a good mustache.
Paul
in the past. Paul Mirabella from, I believe, from Randolph, New Jersey. He is.
Really?
Yeah, he is from New Jersey.
You know this guy.
I think we brought that up at some point.
He has started a fight in a bar in Wayne somewhere. There's no doubt in my mind. He was pissed off about something, and
Yeah, they disputed his year in 1986 playing for the Blue Jays, and he was like, no, I was there. Look at the mustache. I have Lloyd Mosby's phone number. But he was also a Yankee, I think.
Yes, he was.
Mirabella. Is that his stat? He was a Yankee.
It shows the teams he played for. He was a Yankee, Blue Jay, Oriole, Mariner, and Brewer.
Speaking of Yankees.
In addition to the Rangers.
This is a double dip, and forgive me, one of the more arrogant names of teams in this league is the Legends. That certainly makes
the Tropics.
Yeah.
Legends
Field. By the way, Nettles was such
Craig Nettles, third baseman, was a manager in this league.
What team did he play for? The Padres.
Played for the Padres.
I don't remember him on any of the team.
Yankee.
Oh,
barely.
Maybe because it wasn't memorable.
Fourth best Yankee third baseman of the 70s.
I would agree with that. That guy could field. He could hit. He was really good. Underrated really player.
Yeah.
I actually really like Craig Nettles. I hate every Yankee that ever existed, but Nettles I liked.
I think
played hard.
Played hard. Again, right. You're right. Kind of copped a lot of his moveset from Brooks Robinson.
Yes.
As far as a guy that would
never phoned it in this. Like this show is always going to be on point.
He plays 9 innings, just like we play 9 innings.
Well, we're not going to listen.
He's actually the manager.
Stop 2/3 way through the pack.
He's the manager.
Well, I know. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be playing. He's the manager of the Legends.
And as I mentioned in the notes before, this is where the nepotism might fall in because the brother played in the league too. So maybe the brother got some shine and played on Nettles' team.
I'll only play if you take my brother too. Hold on, we got him. You will. I guess we're in.
Not the singer, but I believe he played for the Tigers. Jim Morrison. If anybody knows where Jim Morrison played his
where's
days?
Patrick? Patrick will know this.
He's on my stream for some reason.
Patrick,
okay.
Definitely know this. You know something? I didn't remember him until you said he played on the Tigers.
I think he was a Tiger.
If you know what, I'm gonna have to look now. I'm gonna do the looking.
Yeah.
This guy's still on his phone.
That's fine.
I'm looking in the comments to find out.
He's monitoring the chat as it is. But yeah, Jim Morrison. I think it's the best song.
They throw some great writing on the back. It's that like fluorescent red that you can't really see as you do
Yeah,
the wiggles,
it's,
you know.
you know what it is, and it's
That's why you got to drink the carrot drink. It makes your eyes better.
It doesn't. The problem is it doesn't look like a regular baseball card from the back. You're right. It looks like a trivia card, like that you would get in a game, like a game set.
Yep.
Where it's got like, hey, there's no stats because obviously they didn't want to like fluff up the Major League Baseball stats and show these guys' ages too much. So it's
Right.
Here's a few lines about, you know.
Right. They weren't going to talk about like them being at a buffet or like something they did after they retired.
How do they not give you any of the teams that he played on?
I don't know.
And
Maybe
Patrick,
they think, you know.
Patrick has no clue who he played for.
We've had this guy before.
Oh, Dave Cash.
Dave Cash. Third baseman in the league. Would have played. He was a Padre. He was a
He's a
Pirate.
Tiger, right?
Was he
No.
a Tiger? He was a Philly.
He was a Philly.
He was a Philly, and I think there was another, maybe the A. It was either the A's or the Tigers. Somebody American League, but he bounced around. Like for again, we talk about Kurt Flood, the godfather of free agency. Somebody like Dave Cash would have been almost in the same boat, where he's in 4 or 5 different spots every year or every 2 years, and just either traded or maybe he was the type of guy that like got wrapped up in free agency.
Yeah, you know, he was a renter. He was definitely not going to be a baller.
Yeah, but he wasn't a bad player.
No.
He was a good glove.
Can you imagine
I
being
mean-
his wife that you come home, like every time he came home, it was like, pack it up, hon, we're moving again.
I mean, there's no career 283 hitter. 283 hitter in a career.
Well, also, like, yeah, 283. How would you feel about, like, okay, we were in Philadelphia for 2 or 3 years, and we've been yelled at by all those scumbag fans in Philadelphia, and our kids, you know, didn't really get a great education because they had to go to Philly schools.
I really feel like I served this up, by the way, with the whole you're going to be moving around. He loves this. Is
For the last year of my career, like, let's move to San Diego. Buy a Navy base, maybe, 76 degrees every day. I would take that in a minute. Mrs. Cash was probably like, sign me up,
Yeah,
get me away from these flat-headed morons in Philadelphia who are throwing fireworks at our kids all day.
Let's go get hit with a battery.
Let's go to San Diego on your way to school. The bus driver is just getting heckled mercilessly.
By the way, tune in for the sequel to this show, and he just sits here and just yells about Philadelphia.
I just scream about Philadelphia and the awfulness of it. No, not the city itself is nice. They've got some nice landmarks. It's the human element.
So you
inside
just
of
hate all the
Philadelphia.
people who live in
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
it's the
Even
birth-
better.
I love the pullback of the line, you know?
Ugh.
He's going way far now. He's like, I'll bring it back.
Well, yeah, again.
Beautiful history.
No.
He just insulted every person that breathes in Philly. So, you know, it's good.
Yeah, right. You know, listen, it's the sloppiness inside of an egg. The outside of the egg is gorgeous, and the shell is
It's always pristine.
ivory white. It's pristine. It's great. But then the second that there's a crack in it, almost like a Liberty Bell, you see the ooze that's inside.
Yep.
The people of Philadelphia are the ooze inside of that city. I hope nobody's watching in Pennsylvania.
I think we lost one city.
last couple of guys. Left-handed
Mike
pitcher,
Williams, okay.
Mike Williams. I don't know much about him. Again, in general, a good mustache.
I think there's been a Mike Williams in the league since like 1942, so it's like now you can't
Yeah.
even be like, oh,
I think there's a Mike Williams in every professional sports league.
I think you're probably right.
You could have a baseball player,
Yeah,
football.
basketball, yeah.
God, there's probably 8 Pro Bowlers named Mike Williams. Mike Williams, I think
Best
like
career ever.
that's the name you give at the door when you go to the bowling alley. It's all the Mike Williams lane. All right, great. That's that one over there. You got the 300 last week. You're the Mike Williams we were waiting for. Last guy and a real dud at the end. John LaRose. He's the bartender.
This guy,
He's
looks
the
like,
bartender. He didn't play in Major League Baseball.
What the heck?
He's
Not like
Craig.
Henry, but like-
He's Craig Nettles' favorite bartender. That's what
that
he
is awful.
Mike LaRose.
That's another one. Like it was like, I'll only play if you bring my bartender with me. You know, like, we got a.
He's
spot
a real
for him.
life Sam Malone.
Right? Like they, you know
Mike
what?
LaRose.
Like,
Hold on, you ready for
they
this?
Had 8 players, so they were like, get LaRose.
Are you ready for this? First sentence. John's major league career consisted of just a single game.
Great.
September 20th, 1978, for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, I'm glad he never. I'm
So-
glad he wasn't
September
on.
20th would have been the end of the year. Like that would have
Yeah.
been like the game.
One of the last games.
event-ish game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
78? Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been like he's legit like a very end of the season call-ups.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And probably somebody else got hurt, or they were resting somebody, and they were like, "Get LaRose. He's been sitting on the bus for 8 weeks. Let's put him in again."
He's the guy who tells the most stories too. You know that guy. He's like, "This is the guy. Let me regale you with all my
Oh, yeah,
stories
no,
of minor league baseball and making it to the show."
He's seen Yastrzemski at his worst.
True.
As you said before, Jim Rice. I think this was off camera. Jim Rice being a bit of a
World class scumbag.
just
like,
kind of a
angry guy.
Yeah, a messy attitude.
Yeah.
He might have gotten some of that from Mike LaRose. John LaRose? John LaRose.
Mike
Your brother, he's the Sam Malone.
He is.
Right.
That's
He is the same
made
one.
him look. Or your brother also said
He's the real
there
one.
were 50 people watching before you went on your Philly night. Now there's only 5.
Great, yeah. Well, I hope they're all in Philadelphia. I guess that the leader of the pack is Doc Ellis.
I was just gonna say, in my mind,
It's Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter. Doc Ellis acid. Good for you, Nettles. We have nobody in this pack was a Hall of Famer.
can I throw you one thing that I think you should add here?
Yes, please.
Somebody who we make you've been cut, like we just
Well,
yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, it's
Listen.
a guy like you don't get a manager's card.
No.
like we cut.
and hold a bat in a
Right
manager's
now,
card,
like
too?
no. Like
No,
you
no.
know what?
Yeah.
Like have a clipboard.
That's a good point.
You know, have the sodas for the team.
Oh,
But
you
Doc
can at
Ellis
least-
by
you can
far.
leave-
Pat Dobson, just hands to his side, just hand on a hip too, like a little sassy, a little tilt. That's a manager. That's a guy who's like lording over the players on his team.
Doc
This
Ellis
idiot
is a keeper, by the way, for your show in the future. I think that has to be somewhere.
just hiding
Yeah, how
like
many
an
people-
Easter
yeah.
egg.
Yes.
Find the Doc Ellis in here.
Where's Doc?
Take a tab of acid. Find Doc Ellis somewhere.
It's not bad.
I mean, listen. I don't want to promote drugs on this show.
By the way, I'm loving it. I'm going to take this sticker here.
Go ahead. No,
I love
as,
this tropic sticker.
as a
Plus
as a
it makes me feel
multi-time
like
guest. Have you now, like, as far as like on-camera
3.
guests, you 3 appearances?
Yes.
2 more, you get a coat. That's a 5-timer. It'll be the first 5-timer. Maybe before the end of the season. Dan, that you've been part of this.
This is my
show
second.
twice,
Yes.
Yeah,
One
we did,
on
we did
camera,
2,
once as
we
a
done
producer,
2
so.
here, and we did 1 over at
Yeah,
pool.
yeah.
This one you were actually invited into the house for this one.
Well, this is my second time I've been invited.
Yeah.
And my punch card's up.
Bedazzled, got the key.
Not allowed to come back anymore. But yeah, that's the show. That's all we got for today. I think there may be an episode tomorrow. I'm not really sure. Gotta figure out what our schedules look like and see how the world takes us. Hopefully, like the weather's a little bit warmer and I don't have to wear this longshoreman's hat.
Oh, if people got debts, then you're going to be there to collect.
Only when I have my fingerless gloves on. Oh, maybe I'll go to Philadelphia and punch meat, and then sell that meat to people who like. Did you punch this meat before you're serving it to me?
Is that why it's so tender?
No. It's so tender because it's got Balboa knuckles in it. This is the good meat. It's got Balboa knuckles in it. But anyway, for our host and special guest, Steve Mazzano, once again, Basement Bar Show, and now the sub show, Beer Chat.
Beer Chat.
We'll swoop over to that in a second, but just give us a little bit about Beer Chat.
Beer Chat, 2-minute reviews on local beers, breweries. Just try a different beer every time. Talk about the brewery, talk about the beer, and I give it a rating right on camera. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And if I go to that brewery, I do it live. And yeah,
It's great.
It's a lot of fun.
The first episode was on Sunday, premiered.
Yeah. Drop
Really
it
cool,
Sunday.
really quick. It's every Sunday.
It's going to be every Sunday, so
Okay.
yeah, we got to just continue to
Look forward for
get
more
new beers.
episodes.
And
Tomorrow, more vegetables.
tomorrow's
And your
another
drinks.
vegetable cocktail. We're gonna do, I think, red pepper, so it's gonna look like a death scene in here.
Make it happen. Again, we'll put the link to Steve's webpage. If you're not subscribed, if you subscribe to me and you don't subscribe to him, you're doing something wrong.
You're doing yourself an injustice.
It's real backward. But regardless, thanks again to Steve. Thanks again for pinch hitter Big Chang
Yep.
on the other side as our producer. And thanks to the
Not as vocal as Matt.
to the
Like, you know, he's
no,
a
Matt
guy
doesn't shut up.
who walks softly and carries a big stick.
Yeah, no, he's paying attention. Thanks to the 1990 Senior League. I'm gonna find clips from this nonsense and I'm gonna put that up too because
That's great.
there needs to be more attention paid to this ragtag bunch. And we're gonna find that Jimmy Nettles card that says asshole on the back handle. Sorry, it's a kid show. And then again for myself, we don't have the great Muda today, but Dan, if you want to just again, a little homage to the basement here as we sign off. Everybody, if you're going to do PEDs, don't get clipped for it twice. And
Don't let it cost you $28 million a year either.
Thank God Robinson Cano's gone.
and enjoy the NBA
Beautiful thing.
draft.
Good night.
What's that?